So we're here at Unplugged Performance. Some readers might not, I know it would be embarrassing, but might not know, but what is Unplugged Performance?
We modify Teslas and try to make them the best cars they can become, and we're neighbors with Tesla. So we started about 3 years ago with the Model S, and our idea is to try to make the car a little bit better at everything, kind of like how AMG does for Mercedes with their top-of-the-line sports cars. We want owners that have a top-of-the-line Model S and soon-to-be Model X with our program for that to have even better cars.
And so how long have you been in business here?
In total, 16 years in the aftermarket, but for Unplugged, about 3 years right now.
And you were doing GTRs and things like this?
Sure. Yeah, we're a performance company, so we like speed and driving and having fun.
And so, I mean, what inspired you to do Tesla? What was it? Why Tesla? I mean, there are some obvious guesses, but I'm curious to hear what you say.
Well, we were modifying GTRs, and we met a bunch of guys at Tesla. Some of the guys next door to here do the design for them, and they liked what we were doing, and we liked their cars. And the second I drove a Tesla, I fell in love and felt that was the future. I had to be a part of it.
It's hard not to fall in love. And so the name Unplugged for Performance, I'm curious where it came from. For me, it makes me think of the old MTV Unplugged, which is just like raw and straight up. And what's the origination here?
I mean, it has multiple meanings. It's kind of fun because it really depends on who you are and what you make of it. For me, electric cars are always plugged in when they're charging, but when they're unplugged, it means you're driving. And we like driver's cars and we like performance. And I think the most amount of fun is behind the wheel. So when I think of Unplugged, I think of freedom, I think of performance, I think of enjoying the car for the ability of what it can do and what it is when it's not sitting dormant plugged in.
Yeah, when I think of that MTV Unplugged and that kind of thing, it makes me think too of just like letting loose and getting free and no like editing or whatever. I mean, obviously you do editing, but it's like that's where you really let go.
And in many ways, it's taken on new meanings. I look at it now almost as without restrictions. When you and one of the things about our business is that everything is custom, and the beauty of custom work is it's to each person's taste. When you go and configure a Tesla online, you can max out the car and get every option you want, and that's where it ends. For us, that's where it starts, because Tesla will give you every option they can give you, but we do all the things they can't do. And not to say they can't do because they're not capable. They can't do because it's not financially feasible. They have a limit on profit margin, on supply chain, where they have to get a certain number of parts and everything in between. So
the Tesla Model X was the first CleanTechnica car of the year. We narrowed down 4 finalists and then had the readers vote, had thousands of voters, and ended up with the Model X won. Unsurprisingly, it was. I was making the case pretty hard. Might have swayed some people, but what are your thoughts with the Model X? What are your plans? What are your biggest dreams right now? Make it fly. Actually, make it fly. Right.
We're
make
gonna
it
get
get off.
Flap a lot faster. We're gonna speed up the Falcon wing doors so they flap and take off. No, the Model X is in many ways a larger Model S, and we know how capable the Model S is. So it's something where the Model X certainly can do a lot more. You have a lot more space, better for families, better for if you wanted to off-road with it or whatever you want to do. It's more capable than the Model S. It looks different, but the underpinning is often very similar in a lot of parts. So we're going to take some of the flavor that we have for the Model S in terms of amping up the quality of it, amping up the performance a bit, the handling, all the things we do, and transfer them over to X. And some of that'll be easy and some of that'll be hard. We've been working on the design for 6 months already for a Model X, trying to make it look special, and we'll launch that pretty soon. We'll do the carbon ceramic brakes that take a lot of weight out of the car and make it perform better. We'll do suspension upgrades. We'll do interior upgrades. We'll do all that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the interior upgrades. Saw a lot of fun ideas before it was fully unveiled, and curious to see how much better you do than that even.
We have a couple customers lined up already for them, so we'll be taking delivery of one of these guys' Model X's from out of state, and we'll do a custom interior on his car. Custom interiors are fun. It's the most creative side of the business because no two are the same.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to learn someone's taste and to it's like a custom tailored suit. You get to really interact with each person, learn their taste, and make something entirely original, entirely bespoke.
And you end up spending more time inside anyway than looking at it from the outside. So it's really changes the life with the Model X, with the car.
Absolutely. I mean, these are not, the Model X is not a cheap car. So if you're going to spend your time inside something, and if you have the means to do it, why not make it personalized and make it even nicer?
I think that's a good sales pitch. Yeah. Well, you got a lot of potential customers here. We'll let you talk with some of them and rope them in for some good deals. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We intentionally wanted to make this not a salesy event, and it just
no, you don't come across as salesy.
Just because
definitely a good thing.
This event next door to us, you know, they have 800 people going there, and there's thousands of Tesla owners that never have a chance. And the impetus, the idea for the event was, I work here late at night doing all this crazy stuff we do, and our other neighbor is SpaceX. And when SpaceX does a launch, I'm here behind my computer, and guys in the parking lot are screaming and yelling and having the craziest time because they just, landed their craft after years of investment and heartbreak. And there's something exciting about being at ground zero when an event is happening. Oh, yeah. And we're lucky enough to be here and to have a facility where we can invite our friends that own Teslas to come and feel that energy. Even though these guys couldn't get in because they're so restrictive, we have our screen here and our live stream, and we want to give as much of the experience as possible. And
well, I mean, that's why I came over from Poland, and why I'm really thankful and enthusiastic to be here at your event. And I mean, you guys are the enthusiasts, and
absolutely.
Of course they're over there too. But it's going to be wonderful to hang out here with these hardcore enthusiasts.
We're the crazy guys they wouldn't let in. Exactly.
We're too dangerous.
And you have to do that.
And you gave us a bit of run through back here, but you do genuine carbon fiber. I mean, you do the real deal carbon fiber. Really high. I mean, you were giving us a walkthrough. It's pretty impressive. And Nicolas Zart has said you guys really, a few months of watching you guys, you really do high quality stuff. Can you speak a little bit about that? And where did you get your training on that? Where did that come from?
Well, that's a lot to answer on. A lot of responsibility in that question. Aftermarket is not seen as necessarily high-end. And what we're trying to do is be something at the level of what Tesla would make. So when we started doing this work, one thing that was important was doing it here, side by side with Tesla in the same parking lot. The second thing was having the best team we can get. And one of the first guys we hired was a guy from Ferrari Formula One. Second guy we hired was a guy who has a background with Boeing and aerospace. And we are doing carbon fiber in a way that usually is not seen in the aftermarket. It's more like what you would see if you go out a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. And we think that for a high-end car, we want something that is at the upper echelon, even if not every person can understand the differences necessarily. But you feel the difference when you pick it up. It's insane.
And can you speak a little bit about your funding, where you got the money to get rolling, and how that worked?
We're self-funded. We never wanted to raise any capital, so we did it all ourselves. And
you keep control,
control, and we're control freaks to some degree. We want everything to be the best it can be, and we don't want someone to kind of sell out our core values. Our core values are very much intact. So, our background was modifying exotics and sports cars, and when I first drove the Model S, I fell in love with the car. I felt it was the future, and I felt that was where my time needed to be spent to really push forward an enthusiast culture for the Model S. So every dollar we have has basically gone into this for the past 3 years.
And just to clarify, so Unplugged Performance is underneath the arm of Bulletproof Automotive, yeah?
Yeah, so exactly.
And did you start Bulletproof Automotive, or is that
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I started Bulletproof 16 years ago. And, the nature of Bulletproof was basically, in some ways, the same ideals to kind of foster the aftermarket, the enthusiast core, and people that like driving, to give them options to make their car better and faster and look cool and to be fun. And it became painfully obvious when I first drove the Model S that the car was the best car I've ever driven, but there was nothing from an enthusiast standpoint to do with the car, and it would be a really boring future if you couldn't tinker with your car and make it better in some way. So we needed to create that future.
And so how's if you can talk about it, how's your market been growing? I mean, obviously Tesla sales have been growing at a great rate in the past few years. Have you been seeing a similar kind of just like exponential increase?
We're taking it slow. It's been very much an experiment from the beginning. One of the nice things about having no funding is we do whatever we like as enthusiasts.
I totally understand that. We went the same route with our totally different field, media, but I understand it.
It's nice to do what you want. So we basically do whatever we think is cool, and then the validation side is sales. If people buy it, then we realize, okay, we thought it was cool and someone else did also, and then we keep going. So for us, it's been slow and incremental. we're catching up. When we started, there was only 2 guys for our composites team. Now we have 12. We need more still. We're still hiring and still trying to grow. It's not a big business. You know, people think of 100,000 cars on the road is we're a huge company. We operate out of a small facility and we have a small team, but we love what we do.
And so what are your expectations? What are your thoughts about the Model 3? We're about to find out. Let you roll the dice a little bit on what you think is coming and what you'll do with that.
I mean, we're going to do a lot with it. You know, the Model 3, they talk about competing with the BMW M3 and Audi S4, and those are enthusiast markets. So there's going to be a whole new crop of people that are going to get to experience what Tesla's all about. And we love making cars better. So there's going to be a lot of fun cars to play around with when the time comes. As far as what's happening tonight, I mean, every time Tesla comes out with the car, they crush it. Like the last time we were over there and they launched the Model X, and these SUVs are running as fast as Lamborghinis. Like, no one. It is ludicrous. So, you know, trying to predict what a Model 3 does, you can't, because anything you predict is comparing to, like, the media compares to an S4. Come on, it's not. It's like the Model X comparing to a Porsche, you know, a Porsche a Cayenne. There's no comparison to these cars, so I can't tell you, oh, it'll be like this, it'll be like that. It's going to be like Tesla. It's going to be way above.
I mean, I've driven the Porsche Panamera SE Hybrid, the BMW i8, wonderful cars, but when it comes down to it, they're not Teslas. That's for sure.
Yeah, so, you know, Elon will do the speaking better than anyone as far as what this thing will be able to do, but I have a lot of confidence. I sat in line for 6 hours through 2 rounds of lines this morning to order 4 of them, so I'm as crazy as
we did the same.
Yeah, no one's seen this thing at this point, so we all drank the Kool-Aid. We're all in it together, but Elon doesn't disappoint.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for what you're doing. I'm sure a lot of our readers love it and appreciate what you're doing. I'm sure we have some customers of yours too in our field. So appreciate it. We'll be eager to check in when you have some Model 3s. Oh, that was another question. So you were talking about, I was asking how many you needed or wanted. You said a couple. I was saying a couple, and you said, well, 50 if we could get them.
This is the problem of not being funded. I can afford 4. I can't afford hundreds. If we had capital, we'd probably buy a whole lot more because we're going to have a lot of customers that are going to want fancier, more awesome Model 3s.
So that would be to basically run with different ideas or just to more quickly do them and get them to customers?
All the above. I mean, we have more ideas than we could ever possibly execute. So we go at the pace we can afford. And we've done okay so far with that, and we'll continue down that road. But, you know, when you have passion for something, you always want to do more than you're capable of. Just look at Elon and all the companies he's running. Yeah. And if he had 5 more hours in the day, he'd have 5 more companies to fill those hours. So my mind's always racing for different things. And, you know, more capital allows you to do more stuff, but I won't take it if it means losing control and losing the passion side of it.
I can 100% empathize with you. But thanks again. Congratulations on what you've done so far, what you've achieved, the customer base who loves you, and eager to see you grow with the market.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky to be here and to have this moment in time where these awesome cars are rolling out and people need guys like us to try to make them better, and it's a fun challenge. We like it.
And thanks to Nicolas Zart for being behind the camera here on this one.
Now it's like a proper, like a Lamborghini.
Everything carbon fiber here. Kyle's getting some good shots for CleanTechnica.
Oh, that's a new one we're playing with. Multicolor, adjustable mood lighting.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like that.
I like it a lot. So that's on demo mode right now, where it just is rotating through the colors.
Awesome.